Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In Crimson Lights, Billy is hyping the launch of Abbott Communications to a journalist over the phone. Sally mopes in and he guesses there's a problem. She explains that she was speaking with his mother while slumped in a chair. Their one and only investor was not won over by her pitch to bring Audra on board. This is hardly a surprise to him. They examine the explanations. Sally suspects that if Jill could get behind them, she could get behind Audra. Billy is less sure that his mother will change her mind. The redhead points out that she was only strongly encouraged not to hire Audra, not barred from doing so. Those sound like the same thing to Billy since he understands Jill speak. However, he also has faith in Sally's judgment, and he's confident she'll make the right decision. In the middle of the athletic club dining room, Audra and Holden continue their blowout about him exposing their secret to Claire. He insists that he was only trying to protect them. By telling Claire a very selective version of their history, he may have dissuaded her from digging into their past and discovering things neither of them wants her to know. He's sure she wouldn't have relented otherwise, especially after he took her to the shadow room. Audra can hardly wrap her head around how stupid he has been. It shouldn't surprise her because it fits into his MO of feeding dirt to women to get them excited. Now he's given Claire something to hold over her head. Even worse, if this spreads, it could permanently alienate Amy and Nate and result in her being fired from her new job. Sally intervenes as he continues to attempt to justify his decision. Holden quickly takes off and Audra assumes she's in trouble with her friend. That seems to be confirmed when Sally takes her to a table and explains their investor isn't eager to have Audra on board. Sally promises to fight for her anyway. Audra appreciates the vote of confidence but doubts it will amount to much. Her friend insists that once the company is up and running smoothly, she will be able to convince their investor to bring her in. It could take some time for this. Audra will be prepared and waiting. Kane is taunted by Victor regarding Arabesque's attack. At the Newman Ranch, Ashby gets off the phone with Amanda, furious. He assumes Victor knows why and immediately accuses him of launching an AI attack on Arabesque. The mustache begins joking about the irony of the situation after initially acting ignorant. He has only done to Kane what Ashby planned to do to everyone else. Adam can hardly contain his enthusiasm and points out how boneheaded Kane has been about all of this. Once Kane leaves in a rage to salvage his company, Adam praises his father for his brilliant strategy. In a week, Arabesque will be demolished, and they can get what they want for pennies. As much as Victor is enjoying this quick victory, it's nothing compared to how much he is looking forward to destroying Jack. Adam worries about Jack to Chelsea. Adam heads to Society to meet with Chelsea and immediately fills her in on the attack on Arabesque. She wonders why he doesn't seem happier. He admits that Kane is only getting what was coming to him, but he can hardly say the same for Jack and Jabot. Jack was a father figure when his family froze him out. He will never forget the Abbotts' faith in him. For once, Adam wishes Victor would be satisfied with already having more than he could ever need. Chelsea feels sorry for his father's inability to ever be satisfied. Adam continues feeling bad for Jack. His father has already ordered him to come up with a distraction for the Abbotts. She reminds him that he could refuse to follow orders. They consider whether they should confront his father head-on. Kane informs Phyllis of Arabesque's attack. Phyllis discovers Kane in Chancellor Park desperately calling his tech team. He tips her off on the attack. His tech team is looking for the kill switch, but no luck so far. He becomes philosophical and considers whether this is simply karma. Maybe the universe is punishing him for his hubris? As Kane asks her again to confirm she didn't betray him, Billy shows up to goad them. Having better things to do, Kane trudges off, leaving them to bicker about betrayal as Billy brags that he's already put protections in place for his company. Phyllis is reminded by Victor that they are not partners. Phyllis hurries over to the Newman Ranch to see Victor. She informs him that they are already setting up protections at Jabot. He dismisses that and assures her she will still get the company. Phyllis asks if he is really planning an attack on Arabesque and reminds him that wasn't part of their deal. Victor reminds her that they never agreed to a partnership. He doesn't have to do anything for her other than give her the jabot, and he can do whatever he wants with the AI. Furthermore, given that she has already lied to Kane, what difference does it make? The morning sunlight filters through the windows of crimson lights, glinting off the coffee machines as the smell of roasted beans fills the air. Billy Abbott stands in a corner near the counter, phone pressed to his ear, his tone animated and confident as he speaks to a journalist from the Genoa City Chronicle. The launch of Abbott Communications is all he's thinking about, his words sharp and persuasive as he paints a picture of innovation and family legacy. It's a big day for him, the kind that could redefine his standing in both business and reputation. He can feel the buzz of opportunity in his veins, finally, a project that's his and not just another shadow of Jabot or his mother's expectations. "We're building something different here," he says proudly, pacing as he sips his coffee. Abbott Communications isn't just a company, it's a future. But his moment of triumph fades when the bell above the door chimes and Sally Spectra steps in, her usual spark dimmed, her expression stormy. Billy notices immediately, her energy is off. He ends the call, sliding his phone into his pocket as she trudges to the nearest table and slumps into a chair. "Okay," he says with a small grin, taking the seat across from her. "I can already tell that face means trouble." "What happened?" Sally exhales, rubbing her temples. "Your mother happened," she mutters. Billy's grin fades. "Jill?" He should have known. Sally nods, frustration edging her voice. "I had a call with her about bringing Audra on board, and let's just say she wasn't impressed. Our one and only investor isn't exactly thrilled with my pitch." Billy leans back, unsurprised. "Yeah, that sounds like Mom. She's never been one to roll out the red carpet for Audra Charles." Sally frowns. "But it doesn't make sense. I thought she'd see the value in someone like Audra, sharp, strategic, connected. She's not some amateur." Billy chuckles dryly. "You're right. She's not an amateur. She's a professional at ticking people off. And Mom's got a long memory." They start dissecting the issue, tracing Jill's hesitation to Audra's reputation, her cutthroat attitude, her ties to shady deals, and the number of bridges she's burned along the way. Sally knows it, but she also sees Audra's brilliance. "If Jill could just get behind us, she'd have to see Audra's worth," Sally says, staring into her coffee cup. "If she could back you, she could back her too." Billy shakes his head slowly, skeptical. "Don't hold your breath. When my mother makes up her mind, it takes an earthquake to move it." Sally isn't deterred. "She told me I was strongly encouraged not to hire Audra." "That's not the same as saying no." Billy smirks. "That's exactly the same thing. You're learning to translate Jill speak." But there's no malice in his tone. In fact, there's admiration. He studies her for a moment before softening his voice. "Look, I trust your judgment. If you believe Audra's the right call, I'll back you. Just be careful. Mom doesn't take kindly to being ignored." Across town, the polished calm of the athletic club is shattered by raised voices. In the center of the dining room, Audra Charles and Holden are at it again, loud, tense, and impossible to ignore. Patrons turn their heads as the argument escalates, their words sharp as glass. "You had no right." Audra hisses, glaring at him. Holden lifts his hands defensively. "I was trying to protect us." "Protect us?" she repeats bitterly. "By telling Claire?" Holden insists he didn't reveal everything, just enough to keep Claire from digging further. "She was getting too close, Audra. You don't know her like I do. She would have kept digging until she found something that could ruin both of us. I gave her a version of the truth, just enough to keep her satisfied." Audra's eyes flash with fury. "A version of the truth? You mean a lie that's going to blow up in our faces?" She can hardly believe the stupidity of it. Holden's impulsive decisions are his trademark, but this is catastrophic. "Do you realize what you've done? You've given her leverage over me. Holden tries to argue, saying that after the shadow room incident, he had no choice. Claire was relentless, obsessed with understanding their connection. By spinning a partial story, he claims he saved them both from exposure. But Audra sees it differently. You fed her dirt, Holden. That's your thing, isn't it? You can't help yourself. You think manipulation is protection. Now she's got something to hold over my head, and when this gets out, I'll lose everything, Nate, Amy, my new job, gone. Holden opens his mouth to speak again, but Audra cuts him off. You've destroyed everything I've worked for. Before he can defend himself, Sally appears near the entrance, eyes narrowing as she spots them. The tension between Holden and Audra is unmistakable. Holden quickly grabs his jacket and mutters, "We'll talk later," before bolting for the door, leaving Audra fuming in the middle of the room. Sally crosses her arms as she approaches. "Should I even ask what that was about?" she says dryly. Audra groans, shaking her head. "Nothing that won't come back to bite me later." Sally gestures toward a table and they sit. She wastes no time. "I just came from talking to Jill," she begins carefully. "She's not eager to have you join Abbott Communications." The words sting, but Sally's tone is gentle. "I want you to know, I'm still fighting for you. I believe in what you bring to the table." Audra gives a small, weary laugh. "You can fight all you want, but we both know Jill Abbott doesn't lose battles. If she doesn't want me on board, I'm not getting through that door." Sally leans forward, determination flashing in her eyes. "Not yet. But once the company is up and running, I'll prove her wrong. We'll prove her wrong. Give me time." For the first time that day, Audra smiles faintly. "You're one of the few people who still believes in me, Sally." Sally reaches across the table, squeezing her hand. "That's because I know what it's like to have everyone doubt you. I'll get you in, one way or another." Audra nods, though she's not convinced. "Then I'll be waiting, and ready." Meanwhile, at the Newman Ranch, the mood is anything but calm. Kane Ashby slams his phone down after a heated call with Amanda, fury radiating from him. Across the room, Victor Newman lounges in his chair, the faintest smirk playing at his lips. "Something wrong, Mr. Ashby?" he asks innocently. Kane glares. "Don't play games, Victor. You know exactly what's wrong. Someone just launched an AI attack on Arabesque systems, and I'm guessing that someone is sitting right in front of me." Victor feigns ignorance at first, swirling his drink with calculated calm. "Now, why would I do a thing like that?" he asks, his voice dripping with mock innocence. But when Kane presses, Victor's smile widens. "Maybe because you were planning to do the same thing to everyone else. Consider it poetic justice." Adam, standing by the fireplace, can't hold back a grin. "You have to admit, Kane, you've been pretty boneheaded about this whole AI business. You tried to play in the big leagues, and now you're paying for it." Kane's fists clench as he steps closer. "You'll regret this, Victor. I'll rebuild Arabesque, and when I do," Victor interrupts with a chuckle, "you'll be out of money, out of allies, and out of time. Arabesque will be rubble within the week, and then I'll pick up the pieces for pennies." As Kane storms out, his anger boiling over, Victor turns to Adam, satisfaction gleaming in his eyes. "That's one problem handled. Now, we turn to Jack Abbott." Later that afternoon, Adam meets Chelsea at Society, the guilt already weighing on him. She greets him with a hug, but quickly notices the heaviness in his expression. "You look like someone just kicked your dog," she jokes, trying to lighten the mood. Adam sighs. "Arabesque's being gutted. Dad's move. It's brilliant, and cruel." Chelsea frowns. "You don't sound happy about it." Adam stares down at his drink. Kane had it coming, sure. But Jack? He doesn't. "My father wants me to come up with a distraction for the Abbotts while he launches his next strike. And I can't do it. Not to Jack." Chelsea studies him quietly. "He's been good to you," she says softly. Adam nods. Better than my own family sometimes. When everyone else froze me out, Jack gave me a chance. He saw something in me no one else did. He looks up, guilt darkening his eyes. For once, I wish my father could just stop. He already has more power, more wealth than he'll ever need. Why can't he ever be satisfied? Chelsea reaches across the table. Because satisfaction means stopping. And Victor Newman doesn't stop. Adam lets out a humorless laugh. No. He doesn't. And now he wants me to help him destroy the one man who actually believed in me. Chelsea's voice softens. You don't have to follow his orders, Adam. You could stand up to him. You've done it before. He hesitates, torn between loyalty and conscience. And look where that got me, he mutters. Still, the thought lingers, maybe this time, he could do the right thing, even if it costs him. At Chancellor Park, Phyllis Summers finds Kane frantically barking orders into his phone. His tech team is scrambling, but nothing's working. We're trying to locate the kill switch, one of them yells from a distance. Kane looks like a man on the edge, desperation etched across his face. When he finally hangs up, he turns to Phyllis, frustration spilling out. We're finished. They've hit every system, every backup. Arabesque is bleeding out, and there's nothing I can do. Phyllis tries to steady him. You can still fight back, but Kane cuts her off, bitterness seeping into his tone. Fight back? Maybe this is just karma, Phyllis. Maybe the universe is teaching me a lesson about greed. He shakes his head, almost laughing at the irony. I thought I could play Victor's game and win. As he asks her again, point blank, if she betrayed him, Billy walks up, smug and unbothered. Looks like you're having a rough day, Kane, he drawls. Funny, I just finished putting protections in place for Abbott Communications. Guess it pays to think ahead. Kane glares but doesn't reply, too drained to spar. He stalks off, leaving Billy and Phyllis alone. You really enjoy kicking people when they're down, don't you? Phyllis snaps. Billy shrugs. Only when they deserve it. Determined to get answers, Phyllis marches straight to the Newman ranch to confront Victor. She doesn't bother knocking. We need to talk, she announces. Victor raises an eyebrow, amused. About what? About Arabesque, she says sharply. You weren't supposed to attack Kane's company. That wasn't part of our deal. Victor chuckles darkly. Our deal? My dear Phyllis, we don't have a partnership. I promised you Jabot, and you'll get it. But beyond that? I'm free to do as I please. Phyllis glares. You're playing with fire. If Jack finds out, then Jack will burn, Victor interrupts coldly. And you'll get what you wanted. Don't pretend your hands are clean. You already betrayed Kane. Phyllis stares at him, a mix of anger and dread in her eyes. So this is it then? You destroy Kane, you take Jabot, and you move on to the next? Victor smiles that familiar, terrifying smile. Exactly. That's business, Phyllis. The only question is whether you're smart enough to stay out of the way. As she storms out, his laughter echoes behind her, a chilling reminder that in Genoa City, Victor Newman always plays to win, and the fallout is only just beginning. Phyllis storms out of the Newman ranch, her heels clicking sharply against the marble floors as Victor's laughter follows her like a ghost she can't shake. Her mind is spinning, every nerve in her body buzzing with fury and dread. She's played this game before, but it's different now, more dangerous, more personal. Victor isn't just destroying Kane, he's setting fire to everything around him, and she's starting to realize she's standing in the middle of his inferno. Outside, she takes a shaky breath, gripping her phone tightly. There's only one person she can think to call, Jack Abbott. But as her thumb hovers over his name, she hesitates. What would she even say? That she got tangled in Victor's schemes again? That she's partially responsible for the chaos that's about to engulf Genoa City? For now, she tucks the phone away, torn between self-preservation and guilt. Back at Abbott Communications, Billy is back in his office, pacing. His earlier conversation with Sally lingers in his mind. Jill's refusal doesn't surprise him, but it bothers him that Sally is taking the brunt of it. He's always admired her fire, the way she never gives up even when the odds are stacked against her. He knows his mother. Jill's opinions come fast and hard, but sometimes, if you can prove her wrong long enough, she'll relent. The problem is, that might take months, and Sally doesn't have months. She's trying to get this company off the ground while juggling the volatile presence of Audra Charles, who's currently imploding in public. Billy runs a hand through his hair, sighing. "We're building a communications empire," he mutters, "and all we've got so far is chaos." Just then, Sally walks in, visibly drained. "Rough day?" he asks, offering a faint smile. "You could say that," she sighs, dropping into the chair across from him. "I ran into Audra at the club. She's Audra, livid, defiant, and on the verge of blowing up her own future." Billy chuckles dryly. "Sounds about right. Let me guess, Holden?" Sally nods. "He did something stupid. She says he told Claire part of their secret, thinking it would protect them. But it's backfired." Billy frowns. "Holden? That guy is walking bad luck. Every time someone gives him a chance, he finds a way to set it on fire." Sally doesn't disagree. "He's reckless, but Audra's tied to him somehow. Emotionally, professionally, I'm not sure which is worse. She's convinced this is going to ruin her career before it even starts." Billy leans forward. "So what's the plan? You still going to fight for her spot on the team?" Sally meets his eyes, her expression firm. "I gave her my word. And like it or not, Audra's good. We need her energy if we're going to make Abbott Communications a real player." Billy exhales, admiring her resolve. "You're fearless, I'll give you that. Just keep in mind that fearlessness and foolishness are separated by a very thin line." Sally smirks. "And you're here to make sure I don't cross it?" "Someone's got to," he replies softly, his voice carrying that mix of warning and affection he often uses when he's trying to protect someone from themselves.